Okay, I'm back. My freebie screencast software has a 15-minute time limit. I didn't realize I was talking for so long. So I got cut off. So this is part two. Um, I guess if you guys really enjoy these videos, then I can pay the $14 a month for $14 a year. Jeez, $14 a year for the pro version. But there's probably other things out there. Anyway, so I uploaded part one already, so I'm kind of lost where we were. I think I was buying a diagonal. Now I'm really looking at a leap here, and going to sell some covered calls against it. Um, you're not going to make money um, uh, off of these diagonals. Let me see, 420. Yeah, so a $5 spread costs you $25. Um, yeah, but if you treat it as a leap and you were to buy back your short at the end of May, that's this little graph puts your lines in here right there. Then you would see at the end of the year you'd still make great money off of this, $5,000. Um, and if I was going to do a leap, I don't even know if I'd do the 420s. Um, let's look at the Jan 14s and see what happens there. Um, the Jan 14 420 has right here. It's $38 in extrinsic value. That's pretty high. Um, I'd have to go pretty far down. The cost goes way up. But even so, even if I went with just the 400s, um, I saved $10 in extrinsic value. Um, of course, it costs a lot more too. So this is a good way to test out what is better for you. So let's just break this down here. Let's see the Jan 14s 420, the May 13 shorts at 425. Um, so this thing made money. Let's see what happened. I think an easy way to do that would be to break this trade down into each of its parts. So I'll leave this here, and then we'll go back and look at each component separately. So since the Jan 14 is right here, let's do the 420s right there. So that's the one we're going to buy. Okay, so I'll buy that. Just disregard the graph for a second. And let's go back up to the May 13s. And we shorted the 425s. So let's sell that one right there. Okay, so those on the graph. Let me take the other two off. And I should end up with the same at the end. Let's see, 55.51, 55.51. So it works, huh? Anyway, so let's put these individual ones on here. So let's see what happens. Let's just look at the short first. Okay, the naked short. This is kind of cool. So I short this, the stock goes down. Great. My profit starts to climb. Nice, nice, nice. And then the stock started to climb up. And the stock, if you look on the right, actually passed. It's passing my strike price and then finished here. If I was going to set this up as a leap, I wouldn't even short the 425s. But just to see what happened. So you can see that my profit ended up being what I took in. No, sorry, 1467. So I collected 2290. I would have to buy it back, and my profit was 1400. So it looks like I had to buy it back for around $8. And to see, I can test that out and see what it actually would be. So, sorry, wrong one. If I wanted to see what it was on that date, go here. What day was that? May. So May 17. 425. Yeah, so it would cost $835 to close that out. Um, so I don't actually have to click this to buy it back. Um, that would just kind of mess up all your trades here. So that's what happens with that one. If I was really going to do a leap and sell cover calls, I would have gone higher. Um, probably the stock was at 433. I would have gone to at least 440, maybe even 445. But you can see what would happen if you did it in each case. And the profit is very similar, actually. So 440. So there's some sweet spots in there. But I probably would have gone with the 440 since I was doing a leap. And so you can see it went up. This is also interesting too. At one point it was up around almost $1,500 that short was worth. And then when Apple started to make us climb, this thing went from 1460 something all the way down to minus 760. It lost so much value. Let's see, from 425 to 5.8. So not much more than 2 week time. This thing just tanked. This short did, and you would have been panicking. So if you had closed it out down here, wow, look how much money you would have lost. A huge loss. You would have lost all this profit, plus added on this loss down here. So probably around a $2,300 hit you would have taken off of your potential. So anyway, you could go along and keep shorting this long. Let's just put the long on there and see what that profit looks like. The long didn't do so good because you paid a lot for that extrinsic value, and until the stock really started to climb, it was kind of hovering around the break even, tanked really bad. So you would have really been trusting a lot in the strength of Apple stock, especially at this point here when it was down below 400, to be holding on to that. But eventually, yeah, it did pay off in the end. Nice profit. So let's just try. So suppose we kept that, the 440s, and then at the end of May, when that one expired, I'm going to go to the next day, and we shorted another one. So at that time, stock was 442. Let's short the let's go at the 460s. Oops, I'm in the wrong one. Sorry. Maybe June. So I'll short the June. Let's short the 460s. I'm just picking it. I'm not even gonna experiment with it. So you can see 6,400 if I didn't short that. 5,600. So it did pull in some more. And you can just keep going through there and shorting additional months. You could probably work out a strategy where you close them out sooner. Not sure how well that works on the profit. What I've done is just use the values off of here and put them in a spreadsheet, and because then you can close that early. Look up the price here. Say if your shorts are well out of the money, you can buy them back before they go to zero. Why wait? Buy them back when they're like 20 cents, and then you can short either the same month or the following month at a much higher premium. But even just this strategy of waiting to expiration, letting them expire, or buying them back, this will assume that you're buying it back. That's what it shows, that profit. So it's just like if you just bought the single. If I bought this single call, or I'm sorry, shorted this single call, it will show you what your profit is at expiration. Here's the expiration right there. That's why it flatlines. So there's no exercising or anything like that on here. It just shows you what your actual profit is. Again, this expiration was 6/21, so let's go to 6/21. Oh yeah, it's on the chart. You notice that on the charts it highlights the expirations in bold there. So your long call is not doing so well. But as long as you're shorting, uh, if you actually shorted these two calls against that, you'd be ahead, even though uh, your long is not doing so well. You can see it's 442. We start at 430 something. So stock didn't really go up much for us, but those shorts help cover that loss on that long call. Apple leaps just really have a lot of extrinsic value in there. You can just see your band. So the stock has to go up this much just to even break even. So that makes it tough. Anyway, that's how this window works. If you have any questions, I guess you can contact me on Google+. So hope this is helpful. Thanks.